Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Story/Testimony Time. And today I've got a pretty cool story as well from Brother Koning, Otto Koning, the missionary that's in not Mexico. That's David Hogan, the missionary that's in New Guinea, or he was there at least. I spoke about him previously about the pineapple field and how he had to surrender the pineapple field because the locals were stealing all of his pineapples. Eventually, he just got fed up and he realized, listen, he cannot do this. He's just going to give it to God and say, God, I can't look after the pineapple field anymore. It's yours. And long story short, God ended up looking after his pineapple field, and people didn't end up stealing, and a whole bunch of people got saved because of it. And then, things were going really great for a while, and then again, he started feeling stress and pressure and all these things, and he was like, why am I going through this again? And he said it in such a nice way. He says, sometimes when you feel like you're backsliding, you're not backsliding, you've just graduated to the next grade. Like in school, you deal with the same thing up until grade 12, except you go deeper into that. And he says that God takes us into deeper revelation of the freedom that he wants for us. And anyway, so he was stressing, he was going through a bad time, and there was a lot of pressure on him again and stuff, because what had happened is that some of the locals had a whole bunch of junk that they figured out that if they take it to him, he can fix it for them. And him being the guy that he was, just ended up fixing everyone's stuff, and before he could even check, his time was so consumed by all these guys, with him fixing their junk, that he didn't have time for language studies, he didn't have time to translate the Bible, he didn't have time to do anything basically that he was supposed to do. This happened for like 2 or 3 years, and every time that he went back for a conference to the mission center, back in America, they would ask him, like, so how's it going with your language studies? How's it going? And it's just bad. I haven't done anything. I'm too busy. I don't have enough time. And they would get so frustrated. And the time, his time was just a problem. He didn't have enough time to do everything. And he was back on antidepressants, and he was, back on, and he says, like, no missionary should ever be on those things. We should be doing the will of God, and God should be with us and stuff. So anyway, but he was on this bad thing, and he was just, it wasn't going well with him or his family or anything like that because of the time, and he didn't have time to do anything that he felt he should do. And at some point, we got to the point where he said, God, I can't do this. I give my time to you. And he surrendered his time. And he said, God, if you want me to fix that junk for the rest of my life, I'll do it. I'll do that. And he just carried on fixing their junk and whatever. And during the process, he had planted 2 or 3 churches. And one of the main missionary guys came over to come and check, just to have a look at and how his work's doing. And when they had a church service, because the guy came and he's like, so what do you do with your time? And he was trying to avoid the question as much as he could, and a little bit of everything, and doing this and that, and but he said in his heart he's not going to tell this guy that he's fixing everyone's junk, because then they're going to chase him away. And so he was trying to avoid the question with everything in him. And by the time they got to the church, and this guy saw how the people were praying, how the people were preaching, just the enthusiasm and the drive and the hunger they had after God. This guy was like, wow, how did you do this? Like, how did you get your people to pray? Like you are 10, 20 years ahead of the other missionaries in this area. And he said, and then he clicked that when he gave his time to God, now this missionary guy, the main head mission guy, came and he said that you are 10 or 20 years ahead of everyone else. And he says that's what God will do. Like when we surrender our time to him, or when we surrender something that is in front of us, or something that is constantly nagging at us, it's God will look after that. God will make sure that it's not wasted, because he looks after his time. If he didn't want Brother Koning to spend so much time with the people in fixing their junk, then he would have made a plan. He would have taken away their junk, or taken away their desire to have it fixed, or whatever, like something like that. God would have done something else. But consequently, because he was fixing all their stuff, he was spending a lot of time with him, and also they saw that, like, there was God in him, because he'd been preaching all this time. And the more angry, like before he surrendered it, he got so angry and so frustrated and stuff, and the guys would say to him, you're not a Christian, we don't believe you're a Christian, these natives. And then when he surrenders the stuff, that comes in, you've become a Christian. The point is that he surrendered his time, and it was something that was completely taken up. And one thing that I want to encourage us all today, there's certain things that God will put in your life, whether it be your time, whether it be, you know, people mistreating you or people doing stuff, whatever. Just give it to God. Stop trying to fix it yourself. Give it to God. Surrender it, and really, really surrender it. Say to God, like, I cannot do this by myself. I cannot. I give it to you. And if you want me to suffer like this for the rest of my life, or if you want me to do that, then I'll do that. But I give it to you now. Like, I surrender it. And once you surrender that, then God will look after it. Like, God has good plans for us. God doesn't have bad plans for us. He doesn't want to curse us. He wants to bless us. We're His children. He gets pleasure out of the prosperity of His children. And yeah, it's such a powerful lesson in that surrender. So yeah, I just want to encourage you guys today that, like, you know, if there's anything in your life that God is pressing on, and God is asking you to surrender, give it to Him. Give your health to Him. Give your family to Him. Give your finance to Him. Because a lot of us, I think the finance is quite a big thing for a lot of people right now. And the second you give it to Him and you say, God, I give this to you, you tell me what to do. And when God speaks, you need to be obedient. It's not like you can just go sit on your couch and do nothing. But when, like, you give it to God, and when He speaks, you act and you listen. So yeah, I hope that it touches your heart. Shot, guys, thanks for listening. I hope you liked the testimony. I'll definitely be sharing more about Brother Otto in the future. I'm actually working through a series of his a little bit right now about yielding and surrender. So it's definitely something I'll speak about in the future. So yeah, God bless you guys. And if you have a mother, or if you are a mother, happy Mother's Day. And we hope that you are super blessed this Mother's Day.